Yes, and today we have a very interesting topic. We are talking about things that you should consider before saying yes, to the question, the one question that, most women want to hear sometime in their lifetime. So what are the things you should consider before saying yes?
Priorities. I mean, if you guys have different priorities in a relationship, you tend to, sometimes I may come into a relationship and I'm planning to get married, right? But you don't want to ever get married. You're okay, you're comfortable with whatever we have. So if we have different, of course, priorities, we'll end up, of course, the relationship cannot thrive. And me, wacha tu niseme tu kweli, the second one, I was like, first off, does your family, are they receptive of other languages, like tribes? Because nimeingia kwa relationship prior where I walked into a situation and they're like, ai uyo apana sisi hatutaki hiyo tribe, So I knew this is something I wanted in my next relationship. I want to know, are they receptive of other languages that are probably not what you guys speak? Other tribes, ndio isikue nisingie ndani and they're like, na mimi niko ndani mguu deep part imeingia hadi huku.
Bro.
Yeah.
That's very tribal. That's very tribalistic. Karibu niangushe. But for me, from personal experience, I feel that core values are very, very important. Those are things that we take for granted, because you guys might love each other and you'll be like, oh my god, this is like such a good relationship, it's so healthy, I love you, you love me, like I can see like us like doing this like for life. But if you're like, this I had to learn like the hard way, if your core values do not align, even something as simple as, me, I don't believe like a man is supposed to be in the kitchen, you might take that for like, you might think it's a very small thing, but at the same time you need to consider you guys grew up very differently most of the time. If you grew up the same way, then that's fine. Because for me personally, it's not a gender role to wash dishes or to wash clothes, or it's not a gender role for me. So if you meet someone who sees that as a gender role, trust me, mtakosana vibaya sana. And if you can't agree that in future, cheki, it's not a gender role. If you don't like the kitchen, wash clothes. If you don't like washing clothes, you cook. Like, it's not a gender role. And those are the core values I'm talking about.
Umesema nikakumbuka venye nilipelekwa mbio
online.
Because I'm saying a man needs to also, be able to wash dishes. But I'm going to base my yes on what sort of a person are you, whom's are you, and who are you? Because, at the end of the day, I wouldn't want to be in, to say yes to someone who's maybe a con, or someone who, what's the kind of a person that they are. It's someone mwenye ananyanyasa watu so that they can make ends meet, okay? And apart from that, whom's are you? For me, being a Christian, it means your faith and the core character of you and the person that you worship matters to me. So if you're not on one page, we can't exist, because I'm very sure itakuja down to every decision that we make. There are things which you might want to compromise, and for me, I wouldn't want to compromise, right? And apart from that, it's what sort of a person are you? Are you a kind person? Are you a nice person to people that you don't know? It's not even about me. Are you a good person to your family, your relatives, your, anyone who's around you, who's not maybe related to you directly by blood, but to me, those things matter, because the way you treat other people, that's how you're going to treat me eventually. Because kama unakuanga na tuasira tule tukutukana watu ama kudharau watu, that means down the line, if something happens between us, you're going to react that way towards me, right? And apart from that, the things that you believe in, the ways, the methods you'd want to maybe raise the kids, you get what I'm saying? There are things which you need to consider. Like, okay, without a kid, will our relationship still survive? Amanile, if it's difficult for us to conceive, it becomes, you and other women in the mix now. You get. So at the end of the day, I feel like before the yes, you need to have very deep conversations and very intentional and very hard conversations. The financial side of things, the faith side of things, how you want to raise, where you want to live, what are you looking at 10, 20 years down the line. And in case one of you is not there, then what happens? So that, I think before you say that yes, mtu wangu kaa chini na kitabu na kalamu.
Well, also commitment. What does commitment mean to you? Because sometimes you may think you already know and have defined what commitment is, but it could really mean different to the other person. Commitment for him may be niko na wewe na niko na mse mwingine. This is something that you never got to tell me, because I assumed it's just gonna be a monogamous relationship, while you probably wanted a polygamous marriage or whatever. So I need to know, when it comes to commitment, is it just me, or will you consider having other women? I mean, even in the Islam community where it's allowed, this is a conversation that is usually there. Ndio sasa unaletewa bibi wa pili nyumba ndogo, you're not like, okay, this is new. As much as it's in the Quran and you guys practice it, kuna wase they are not comfortable with it as much as they are in the same, you know, community. So
yeah, that's true. And also, like, even like parenting styles, you know, there are people who want to be very old school with like their children and like be all like tough love with them, and you know, like all the things that, you know, they believe, but it worked for me. You know, if your dad didn't like show you love, if you never had a conversation with your dad about like anything, he just gave birth to you, he was just a sperm donor, and he took you to school, and that was it, and you want to do the same with your kids, that's also something that you need to consider. Are you willing to put up with like his kind of parenting styles and even other things? Because when you're saying yes, it's for a lifetime. You're not saying yes knowing kikinuka tuta divorce. So you need to strongly like think about everything that you might not like, or everything that you are not seeing eye to eye with this guy about. Think about it 10 years from now, because thinking about it short term, like, I mean, niko tu sawa, the past 2 years I've put up with it, but think about 10, 20, 30 years, are you willing to put up with it?
Absolutely.
But anyway, guys, that's all we have for you today on Live Spot. We need to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back.